Captain, I'm receiving an urgent docking request from another vessel.
Greetings from the Halcyon Parcel Service. Delivery is guaranteed within standard margins of certainty. I've got a special delivery for Alex Hawthorne of the Unreliable. With your permission, I'll see it transferred to your ship.
Well, what is it?
It's a parcel, sir.
No, I mean, what's the parcel?
A parcel is a shipment wrapped and prepared for delivery, sir.
Now, I'm asking what's inside this parcel.
Opening a customer's parcel is strictly against regulations. HPS's no peeking policy guarantees that your deliveries remain confidential and HPS remains free of any liability.
Well, what if I don't want it?
I am contractually obligated to deliver my cargo to the captain of the Unreliable under pain of fines, imprisonment, and censure by my superiors.
Then why'd you ask for my permission?
That's the HPS difference for you. Service with civility. Stand by, Captain Hawthorne. An HPS certified distribution technician has deposited the parcel into your cargo hold in accordance with hazardous waste disposal procedures.
What?
They dispense 3 complimentary spritzes of Anti-Cleo's Citrus Squirt Air Freshener. That's the HPS touch for you, Captain Hawthorne. On behalf of HPS, I'd like to remind you that HPS is not responsible for any damage, defacement, or unseemliness to your parcel. Thank you for your patience, and please remember HPS for all of your future parcel-related needs.
Alright then. Well, I was thinking about doing something, but I admit I'm a little curious. Oh, what the?
Hawthorne, if you're getting this, something's happened to me. Got mixed up in some shady business on Gorgon. Should've known better. But I landed on something big. And now this job's an itch I can't stop scratching. There's a whole research compound left to the Sprats. I think I'm close to figuring out why. But something dangerous is closer to me. Got the job through one Minnie Ambrose. Top runger who just came into some money, was offering a hefty bid card for qualified help. Trust me, her money's good. Talk to Minnie. Take the job. If I ain't gonna live to see the payday, might as well be you. Consider us even, old pal.
Well, that fellow certainly seemed trustworthy.
I've gotten jobs from some unusual sources, but this is a first. Congratulations, Captain.
I don't mean to sound prim, Captain, but there's gotta be a better way to ask someone to do you a favor.
I just want to say, we gotta take this job. This is the closest I ever been to starring in a serial drama. Only thing we're missing is a couple cameras and a soundtrack.
At least this won't be boring.
Ada? What the hell is going on?
Lucky Montoya owed Captain Hawthorne a considerable debt. I believe this is what humans refer to as payback. Captain, the message contains landing coordinates for a small asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. It was recently registered to a Wilhelmina Ambrose.
Do you know who this guy was, Ada?
He was an old friend of Alex Hawthorne's. Lucky Montoya had a statistically significant tendency to encounter situations of extreme danger.
Oh, really? I thought he lost his arm gambling.
He was also the 4th best paid freelancer in the system.
Really? Only the 4th?
There are several hundred freelancers operating in Halcyon. Considering the numbers, Mr. Montoya ranked among the top percentile. This had less correlation with his measured aptitudes, which rank at or below average, than with a pattern of fortunate circumstances.
You mean luck?
Luck does not exist, Captain. Nevertheless, I am programmed to agree with your assessment. I have transferred the coordinates for Ambrose Manor to your navigation terminal. We can travel there when you are ready.
Huh.
Hawthorne, if you're getting this, something's happened to me.
Alright, yeah. Wow. This is certainly quite the mystery.
Yes, you caught me ruminating again. Guilty as charged. What's occupying your thoughts?
So, what's your take on this whole Gorgon business?
Perhaps it's just my judicious nature, but I think we should be careful if we're following up on this lucky fellow's message.
Why do you say that?
I've always felt caution as the best approach when one has delivered a message attached to a severed limb.
Sure, but what do you think of what he was saying?
He sounded lost, perhaps slightly untethered from reality. A feeling I know all too well. It doesn't strike me as a setup, but I still advise caution.
So you think we should look into it?
Why not? It is what we do, isn't it?
Fair enough.
Something on your mind?
Yeah, let's talk about the Gorgon job.
If there's one thing you could say about Lucky Montoya, he was always at the center of a story. Guess this is fitting.
Oh, you knew Montoya?
Sure, like Ada said, he was a big name among freelancers. I met him at Lost Hope once. He was buying rounds for everyone and telling a story about one of his jobs. Pretty sure half of it was made up.
Why do you say that?
You ever get the feeling someone's just trying too hard?
I guess.
There was just something about Montoya I couldn't quite trust. He was always the center of a room, and he slapped a lot of backs to stay there.
So what, you think it was all talk?
Yeah. I'm trying to say that if he screwed this job up, that's on him. I still like our odds. He may have had a rep, but you're more capable than he ever was.
Only because I've got a great crew on my side.
Yeah, well, just remember that when we get paid. What's on your mind?
Any idea what happened to him?
From his arm? The decay makes it hard to tell. Could be a lot of things. Torn off by something with big teeth, torn off by something with big claws, torn off by someone with a moderately sharp blade. Or maybe he just got too close to heavy machinery.
Sure. Alright, enough about Gorgon.
Sure. Something on your mind?
Nope. Felix?
Good to see you, boss.
Yeah, got a minute? I want to talk to you about this business on Gorgon.
So we just sat around a table talking about a severed arm. Of all the weird things that happened on this ship, that ranks somewhere in the middle.
What do you think about this Lucky Montoya guy?
You ever watch The Masked Marketeer?
Can't say I have.
Episode 5 of The Masked Marketeer. First appearance of a recurring villain. Big old galoot, built like one of those industrial-class garbage compressors. His name? Tiny.
Right.
Every adventure serial's gotta have a supporting character with an ironical name. It's a rule of the Genry. Masked Marketeer had a massive bruiser named Tiny, and we got ourselves a real unfortunate hullhead named Lucky. Coincidence? I think not.
Maybe you're on to something, Felix. This job feels different somehow.
Exactly. That's what I've been getting at. We're freelancers. We take any job we can get. But this one? The dying message of a stranger. A severed hand delivered in a crate. Let's just say it beats flying around the colony running errands. So, of course, I'm gonna be excited.
Yeah, it's an interesting lead, alright. We'll see where it goes.
You're a master of understatement, boss.
Alright, we'll talk later, Felix.
Hey, Cap.
Erica, let's talk about this Gorgon job.
Sure.
How are you feeling about the job?
Right now, I'm feeling like a canid following a trail of treats. Like I'm being misled at best. At worst, walking into a trap. Keep those eyes open, Captain.
Alright, that's all for now.
Hey, Cap.
See ya. Let's go look for Parvati. Oh, speak of the devil.
Hi, Cap.
Hello.
I could probably spend years fixing this boat, stem to stern.
So, what are your thoughts on Gorgon?
It's a shame about what happened to that lucky fella. Maybe finishing what he started will help put his spirit to rest.
You poked around the Unreliable Crew. Ever find a record of Lucky Montoya?
Not a word. And I've been sticking my nose in every one of our stately ladies' crannies, stem to stern.
Right.
Oh, law. That sounds untoward, don't it? That ain't...
well,
that ain't what I meant.
Yeah.
Point is, Captain, Mr. Hawthorne left all kinds of scribblings behind panels and under consoles, but ain't a lick of it mentioned Mr. Lucky. So whatever they got up to in the past must have been really extra secret. And lots of fun.
Alright, well, you let me know if you find anything.
Sure thing, Captain.
Good talk, Parvati. Excuse me. Alright. We talked to Ellie, we talked to Max, we talked to Felix, we talked to Nyoka, we talked to Parvati. Let's go find Sam and... Oh.
Battery levels are fully charged.
Well, I guess it was foolish of me to think that a cleaning robot had an opinion on a strange job of some sort. Alright then, well. Let's go to Ambrose Mansion.
Welcome to Ambrose Manor. We were not expecting company. Please follow. Do not stray from the path.
Aw, that's no fun.
Alright, so where are we going? Oh, careful there.
You gotta admit, that was kind of funny. Wow, Ambrose Manor. Hey, you think it's haunted? I bet it's haunted.
At the very least, there ought to be something worth stealing in there. Okay, maybe not.
This place looks kind of sad. Like it's been waiting for someone to make a home out of it.
You lucky? Huh? Apparently not. Oh, join me for a drink, mister, whoever you are.
Sure.
So who the devil are you?
Richard B., Captain of the Unreliable.
You don't say. Well, make yourself at home, Captain. I'm sure we have much to discuss. Do you see that glowing chunk of space rock? That's Gorgon. My birthright, my burden, and the bane of my existence. I hate to drink alone, and this is my third. So join me in raising a glass. To Gorgon.
To Gorgon.
To Gorgon. May cosmic winds shepherd her to the nearest star.
Yeah.
I'm Wilhelmina Ambrose, but you can keep it short and call me Minnie.
Nice to meet you too. Wow.
Now, what brings you to my house, handsome? I take it you didn't come all this way for the beverages, the starry skies, or the pleasant company.
I'm here to talk to a woman about a severed arm.
A severed arm? How positively ghoulish. You know this is a private residence, not a curio shop?
Yeah, see, this arm came with a portable phonograph that mentioned you by name.
Really? Huh. Now this severed limb, did it have dark hair? Rugged knuckles? Chewed fingernails? A gunslinger's calluses?
I didn't look that closely, I'm afraid.
The next time someone mails you a severed limb, you really ought to pay better attention. I can only think of one man daring enough to jettison his extremities on my behalf. Lucky Montoya is my personal freelancer. Fascinating man. Very brooding and theatrical. Always staring into space and twirling a bullet over his knuckles.
He's definitely not doing that anymore.
I could do that. The staring into space part, I mean. I'm still working on the bullet twirling thing.
But if something happened to him, Oh dear. I suppose that makes him my former freelancer now?
Any idea who might have wanted him killed?
You suspect foul play? Interesting.
Well,
if we're being honest, I haven't given it much thought. What a time for his luck to run out. We were in the middle of something grand, and I really can't afford another setback.
Let me guess. You need someone to finish whatever Lucky started.
Excellent deduction. I can tell I found the right man for the job. How would you like to be my new freelancer? There's been a recent vacancy, and I think you're well suited to the job.
Remember, play hard to get. That's negotiation.
I could get used to people offering us a job at first glance. Usually they just squint at us all suspicious-like. Or reach for a pistol.
I'm looking for someone rough around the edges. A gorgeous, dashing scoundrel type. Incidentally, someone good with their hands.
You're seriously offering me, the dead guy's job?
I don't think he'll mind if that's your concern.
Well, how likely am I to end up like your old freelancer?
The man lost an arm. What are the odds of that happening twice? Of course, Gorgon is a treacherous place.
More than 50%.
Involvement with it has been fraught.
At least.
Allow me to lay out the facts, and you can decide for yourself if you want to be my chief investigator.
Go on.
My mother, Dr. Olivia Ambrose, worked for Spacer's Choice at the Gorgon Research Facility. She was brilliant, the top scientist in her field, until tragedy struck.
Yeah, go on.
One day, Spacer's Choice shut down all research and evacuated Gorgon. Everyone had to scramble or risk getting left behind. It was chaos. Employees fled for their lives. Mother never made it home. I'm told she wasn't the only casualty that fateful day. Mother's name has since been dragged through the mud. Spacer's Choice blames her for the collapse of Project Gorgon, and I just know they're lying.
Sounds like she was the corporation's patsy.
My thoughts exactly. Mother would not have allowed Project Gorgon to fail. Something happened on that asteroid, and my family took the fall for it.
So what do you think happened on Gorgon?
I don't know, and Spacer's Choice won't say. They don't discuss anything that tarnishes their brand. Gorgon has a dark history. The project fell apart. Personnel were shuffled across the system. With Mother gone, now I'm all that's left.
Well, there must be someone who knows what happened on Gorgon.
No doubt someone is out there who could talk. Someone involved in Mother's research. Someone paid for their discretion. Then again, why pay for silence when you can buy it for the low, low cost of a bullet? That's the Spacer's Choice way. The asteroid may look like a glittering jewel, but I assure you the resemblance ends there. Gorgon is poisonous to the core. One might even say cursed.
Alright, so what do you need from me?
Whatever happened on Gorgon wasn't Mother's fault. I simply need the evidence to prove it. We're going to drag the truth kicking and screaming into the light. Even if it means bringing ruin and humiliation to Spacer's Choice. All the evidence I need should be in Mother's journal. You can find it in her office on Gorgon, in the heart of the old research facility.
Alright, I got a couple more questions about this job of yours.
I'm not surprised. Between the family drama and the corporate conspiracy, it must feel like you've stepped on a landmine. Speak freely, Captain.
Those are your words, not mine. So why did you wait before starting the investigation?
I didn't want to go anywhere near Gorgon. Once I exhausted all my options, the search led me back here. I even had Mother declared legally dead. Would you believe it took 5 years to process the paperwork?
They never found the body, did they?
Mother's body is still on Gorgon. No body means no death certificate, which means no inheritance. I killed Mother, just on paper, of course, so I could claim my inheritance. We wouldn't be standing here if I didn't have access to the family fortune.
Damn, wish I'd thought of that.
I
Yeah.
once assumed the mansion and the money would be enough to redeem the Ambrose name. But even in Byzantium, prestige must be earned. And it can so easily be lost.
Wait, are you saying you just want to break into high society?
You know, some people work hard just to break out.
Break back into high society, yes.
The same high society that framed your mother.
I have Spacer's Choice to thank for that. The smear campaign against Mother was the work of cowards. I'm vindicating the family name for her, for the colony, and for my future.
Your future?
My future as the head of the Ambrose family business, where I can wield my fortune like a cudgel. This colony is in trouble. The lunatics at Spacer's Choice are running the asylum, and we need better people to wield their influence. After Gorgon, I quickly discovered that the Ambrose name was cursed, for lack of a better term. I had no place among the decision makers. No seat at the table.
That's Byzantium for you. Gossip mongering's a bigger sport than tossball.
That is why I'm clearing the record and vindicating the Ambrose line. For Mother, for me, and for the generations who will one day inherit Halcyon.
And you really think your plan will work?
I know it will.
So what good is your mother's journal to you now?
I suspect it will prove that corporate greed and incompetence were to blame for the calamity at Gorgon, and not Mother. Mother was a brilliant woman. Difficult, cold, unreachable even, but brilliant.
Well, what if it's not there? What if Spacer's Choice took the journal?
Spacer's Choice evacuated in a hurry, leaving a fortune's worth of equipment in their wake. Mother's journal would have escaped their notice. This is my last hope of redeeming the Ambrose name. I don't like my chances, but I have to try. And I need help. Your help.
Alright, so... do you know how this investigation got Lucky killed?
You know as much as I do, I'm afraid. Spacer's Choice abandoned Gorgon, but the asteroid is far from unoccupied. Between the marauders, the wildlife, and whatever escaped the labs, danger abounds.
What do you mean? What escaped the labs?
Toward the end of the project, I heard Mother grumble about some test subjects running amok outside of their enclosure. I wish I could tell you more. Just watch yourself. If you aren't careful, you stand to lose more than an arm. I believe that covers it all. Are you ready to get started? We mustn't allow the trail to get cold.
Well, danger and corporate intrigue. It sounds like my kind of job.
I admire your enthusiasm. This manor has echoed with my own we, and I can feel you breathing new life into the walls. When you reach Gorgon, pack a weapon you trust. The corporate lockdown hasn't stopped the wilderness from squirming in through the cracks.
Don't worry, I'll be careful.
There's a little saloon near Gorgon's landing pad, the Sprat Shack. Lucky was renting a room, so if you want to follow his trail, that would be the place to start.
The Sprat Shack? Hope they don't serve real sprats. There's a sprat worse place than the Groundbreaker. Tried it once, and I was sick for a week.
I think I've heard of that place. Cheap whiskey, rough crowd. You'll love it.
Just so we understand each other, money is no object. I'm willing to squander the family fortune if you get me what I want. Between your payment and any salvage you happen across, you'll walk away from this rich enough to buy a mansion of your own. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Sounds too good to be true. There's always a catch. What is it?
The catch? No one's ever done this before, and the only person who tried is a corpse. Believe me, that's enough. Here's your nav key, Captain. Safe travels.
Alright, Miss Ambrose. I'll be in touch.
A word of advice before you go, Captain.
Yeah.
Trust no one. Mother's office is in the heart of the Gorgon facility. You're free to salvage anything that isn't nailed down. I only want what's mine.
It's not theft if she's giving us permission.
Hey boss, what's our policy on getting to know our clients a little better? You think she'd appreciate some company?
Well, hey, you won't know unless you try, Felix. Why don't you go on and talk to her, huh?
Alright. I can do this. Here goes. Miss Ambrose? Must get awful lonesome up here all by yourself. What do you do for fun? Cause, if you're interested, I've got the full set of Terror on Monarch.
The last thing I need in my life is more corporate propaganda masquerading as entertainment. I think that came off a bit harsher than I intended. You seem very nice, and very pretty, but I'm not ready to invite anyone into this mansion long-term, or even short-term.
Hey, no problem. I figured it was worth a shot at least.
Huh. Smooth, Felix. Alright. Gorgon, here we come.
This ain't a proper serial adventure without a narrator. How about this? Our intrepid heroes stepped foot on Gorgon, and in the distance, a drinking establishment beckoned.
I got supplies if you need them. No one lasts long on Gorgon unprepared. You looking for supplies, stranger? Let's stock up here. If you run low on bullets out in Gorgon's far reaches, there ain't no one round here liable to help you out. Let me know if you're looking for something particular.
So, this is Gorgon.
You mean you came out to this asteroid without knowing nothing about it? Me too. Heard it was wild here and couldn't resist. Trouble is, if you wander off to somewhere you oughtn't be, like way out in Gorgon's farthest reaches, odds are slimmer of your bits finding their way to my pockets. If you want my advice, stick close to the Sprat Shack, unless you fancy having your limbs torn off and eaten.
Thanks, pal, but I can handle myself.
Alright, you know you better than I do. Just be sure you watch out for the Marauders. That's the #1 thing. Oh, and the Mance. You watch out for Marauders, Mance, and Charles from accounting, and you'll probably be fine.
Who's Charles from accounting?
Only the meanest Marauder on Gorgon, and also anywhere else. That man is crazier than a bag of canids and twice as likely to bite. He will bust your head open like an overripe mock apple if he so much as sees you. I ain't joking. He'll snap you in half like stale bread noodles.
Well, great. Thanks for the warning.
No, you don't get it.
What?
Charles from accounting is like... Imagine if you took 3 of the most howling mad Marauders you could find and mashed them together. That's Charles.
Hey, 0 times 3 is still 0, pal.
You know, that's actually true.
You ain't listening to me,
That's right.
Well, I warned you. If you run off and get exploded to death by a madman with a rocket launcher now, that's on you.
Whoa. What's that about a rocket launcher now?
Sure, okay. He's got a rocket launcher.
How did he get a rocket launcher?
Couldn't say. He kills anyone who gets close enough to ask. Look, long story short, you do not fuck with Chuck. Best to avoid the Marauder camp entirely. That's my 2 bits on the matter.
Right. Okay. I take it that evacuation alarm isn't urgent?
Huh? Oh, you don't gotta worry about that. It's got something to do with that scrapped Spacer's Choice project from way back. Damn alarm's been hollering at us for 5 years if it's been a day. You know, I don't dream anymore. It's all, please evacuate in an orderly fashion.
I'm impressed Spacer's Choice built something that's lasted so long.
I think that alarm's gonna bang on for all time. Ain't nothing doing that control terminal in. I know, 'cause even Von Hoffman couldn't bash it in. And I seen that tough son of a gun throw a man clean across the Sprat Shack one time like he were a toss ball.
Right, well, if von Hoffman couldn't do it, then I certainly have no chance. See you around, friend.
Come here. Let's have a chat. All right, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now.
What's all this about?
Did I stutter?
Oh.
Just do as I say.
Fine.
Good. Look up. Now look down. You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation.
Richard Bout, captain of the Unreliable.
Good enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
Yeah, where exactly am I?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Right, and exactly what do you mean when you say people change?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
What happens?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves.
Sure.
After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
I see. Let me ask you something else.
Just don't ask me to dance.
Alright, so, what do you know about Gorgon?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects.
Can this colony have one research facility developing something without horrible, face-melting side effects? Is that so much to ask?
Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Alright. And what do you do around here?
Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
And I thought this place was gonna be fun.
Highest caliber of what? Is he talking about guns?
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt.
Yeah, so, what kinds of people come to the Sprat Shack?
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility is locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
I see. Alright then. See you around.
Watch yourself out there.
Yep. Alright then.
Smell that? Cheap whiskey and stale cigarettes. My kind of place.
Now this looks like a real dive. Hey, I wonder if they got those floorboards that creak when a stranger walks in.
Sorry, Felix. No creaking here.
Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be?
I'm feeling a little refined today. Some whiskey, please.
Bottoms up. I assume you're here for salvage.
Not exactly, but can you explain what you mean?
Most of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
Right. Tell me, what do you know about Gorgon?
Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrenatime came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day.
Any idea why Spacer's Choice shut Gorgon down?
I doubt anyone knows the full story. One day the evacuation order went out. Grunts and lab coats scrambled to get anywhere but Gorgon. And the weirdest thing of all, Adrenatime still hit the market. Me, I never touched the stuff. To each their own, but I think it's dangerous.
Uh-huh. So, would any of your regulars have more information about Gorgon?
Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. And I trust him well enough. There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
Alright. Tell me about them. Tell me about Roscoe.
He's been here since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist. He got left behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him.
Why did he get left behind?
He didn't tell me and I didn't ask. I'm his bartender, not his human resources rep. If you believe the chatter, a lot of good folks got left behind, and a lot of bad folks made it out. Sometimes that's all there is to it.
Alright. And what can you tell me about Leonora?
Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone. She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone. If you're open to a side gig.
Okay. Thanks for the tip.
What are friends for, eh?
Sure. So, friend, yeah, you know anyone by the name of Lucky Montoya?
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy. Heard he took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
The Office of what now?
That's where the top rungers at Spacer's Choice came up with slogans of marketing. Lucky never told me why it was so important. Awful shame about what happened to him.
What happened?
You really want to hear my story? Law, most everyone around here is sick to death of it by now. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off.
Go on.
Get this. The canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
How'd you know it belonged to Lucky?
I'm a bartender. Attention to detail is my middle name. Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne. I did some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
Really? Well, that's nice of them. But why bother sending the arm at all?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
Well, the arm ended up making its way to me. I'm Hawthorne's next of kin, sort of.
No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days. I'm glad I was here to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle.
Indeed. So where was Lucky staying?
3rd floor. Once I figured he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind. Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
Right. So, you run this place?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge.
So Sublight owns the Sprat Shack now?
Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
Oh. Well, that sounds perfectly reasonable.
I've seen the paperwork. Everything's in order. When I say my boss is a filthy sprat, I'm not exaggerating. See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
You know, they do something similar in Byzantium. Fancier system, but same idea.
Hey, Sprats can be real dangerous. I once saw a Sprat cross a guy off. Well, not exactly. The guy I worked with choked on a Sprat bone while he was having his usual salt tuna for lunch.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
And is that even legal?
I know there's paperwork backing it up. You put enough stamps and staples on anything, I'm pretty sure it's legal by default. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
Well, what happens if Ethel Gabler turns him into a Sprat worse?
Never thought about that. Shit, someone could have eaten my boss. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
So does Spacer's Choice mind that you're squatting in their warehouse?
Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
I know. So can you answer any question without starting with yes and no?
Yes. And no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
I see. So how do you get supplies in and out?
Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony. Mostly on their way to somewhere better.
Yeah.
Some are well-connected. And not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well-stocked with the essentials. By which I mean booze.
Of course. Well, I'm gonna have a look around.
Come back when you're thirsty.
Yep.
You're a humbug, Trixie, and worse, a thief.
I can't steal what's lawfully mine, you tangle-footed dimwit.
Break it up, you two. I've heard more than enough of your shit for one day.
That was my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
Hey, what's going on here?
A disagreement between professionals. None of your business.
I risked my life sneaking around marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough! This is a family establishment! You want to make a mess? You make it outside!
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
Well, technically that's business, not personal.
Hey, didn't I warn you about sticking your nose where it doesn't belong?
It's the same fight every day. 5 years we've been at this, and we still can't agree on how to properly tag salvage. Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly, or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats.
Well, what are you thinking?
Would you do me a favor and weigh in as a third party? I can use an unbiased set of eyes on the problem, and an outsider like you fits the bill.
You want me to decide their drunken argument?
If you wouldn't mind.
Why not just get von Hoffman?
This isn't von Hoffman material. Calling up von Hoffman would be like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer.
Fine, I'll give it a whirl.
Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation.
Go on.
So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right?
Yeah.
I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage. Ugh, the nerve of some people.
And how'd you exactly stake your claim on that wreck?
I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!"
Is that how it works, Lex?
I don't know about legal, but it's legit by sublight standards. Assuming anyone was around to hear it, which we can't know for sure.
Someone must have heard me. They just ain't brave enough to step forward and admit it.
So what's your side of the story, Trixie?
When I found the shipwreck, there were no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day, so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
Hey, you had your chance to talk, pal.
Sorry, I won't speak out of turn again.
Anyway, that's my story, sir.
Alright. So, Trixie, what mark did you leave on the salvage exactly?
I drew next in the dirt, with my toe.
And couldn't the marauders have just walked over it by now? Or the wind blow it away?
Wouldn't surprise me in the least, but that doesn't mean it ain't mine.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
Well, look, I mean, Freddy, I'm sorry, but you can't just yell it out and expect it to be yours. I mean, that's just the worst kind of marking. You know, you leave a note on it. You piss on it. You put your shoe on it. Leave a shoe on it. You put, like, your knife in the middle of it, or anything. Put a little flag. Not just yelling it out in front of no one. So I mean, Trixie, the whole marking down the sand thing, I mean, that, as I've mentioned, that could easily be, debunked, and then no one will have the salvage, but screw it. These idiots don't know how to tech salvage. I'll rule in no one's favor.
That ain't no kind of fair.
He ain't even from around here, Lex.
Here's a 6-pack on the house, plus your fee. Maybe now we'll finally get some peace around here for a change.
Alright. So does this happen often?
A little too often if you ask me, but that's the sublight way. Anything worth doing is worth fighting over.
Well, hey, glad to be of service. See you around.
Come and chat if you're ever feeling thirsty.
Oh, boss. I was hoping for a scuffle. I had a bottle ready and everything.
We could always go back and rile him up again later.
No, we're not doing that.
Groundbreaker never had bars this nice. They got balconies and everything.
Huh, who's this now? Wonder if they could... Nah, who am I kidding? Holy shit, a fresh face. Haven't seen your like in years. Don't know what brought you to the most dangerous corner of this solar system, pal, but you're welcome here. Oh, you talked to Lex yet? She tell you to keep it civil? You wouldn't guess to talk to her, but that lady's got a mean left hook.
Yeah, I talked to her, alright. She mentioned you were some kind of journalist?
Some kind. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Got into reporting thinking I was gonna be some sort of public intellectual. What a joke. Spent 95% of my time playing stenographer to the board, and the rest writing puff pieces on the chairman's latest beard trim. Real life and death shit.
You seem like you're having a rough time, pal. Can I help you out?
If you're going back out there, do you think you'd be willing to do an old bastard a small favor?
Hey, helping out old bastards is 80% of my job. What do you need?
The other 20% is ordering me around.
Well, I've been trying to get away from this rock for 5 lobby-fucked years, but I can't stay gone.
Why is that?
Told you I was a journalist, right?
Yeah.
I was here on a story back when Project Gorgon was active. I was doing an interview series for Spacer's Choice. Recorded them all on these little portable phonographs. But when everything fell to shit, Spacer's Choice wouldn't let me leave. Terms of my reporting contract unmet, they said.
So you hid them, and now you need me to get them for you. That about cover it?
Right on the money. Look at me, I'm no fighter. I've never even touched a gun. But you're just the right amount of rough around the edges. Help me get my recordings back so I can finally get the hell out of here.
So why stash the recordings?
Someone had been trying to steal them since the day my assistant and I started interviewing. Couldn't even keep them in my safe. They always found a way in. So I took to hiding them all over the fucking asteroid. Thought I was so clever. What a fool I was.
You mentioned an assistant. Do you know where they are now?
Oh, Georgie? Yeah, she helped me with interviews. A real whiz with the portable recorder tech, too. When things got crazy, I shoved her onto the last ship off Gorgon. With any luck, she's safe and comfortable in Byzantium. She tried every which way to stay, but it was my contract keeping us here, not hers. Didn't seem fair she'd have to suffer just because I made a bad deal.
So why not just forget the contract and leave?
Oh, I've tried, make no mistake. I've caught a couple of rides out with sublight folks, but the board's fixers always send me right back. And I'm not about to stand toe-to-toe with marauders just to fulfill a line item on a contract.
Well, Roscoe, it's your lucky day. I'll get those recordings for you.
No shit? That's downright civilized of you. All
right. Why not?
One of them I stash in the Office of Creative Incubation, in the projector room on the 3rd floor. I gave another to my friend Birdie to keep in her apartment, just outside OCI's upper entrance.
Right. And?
You'll find another in the chem lab. It's in the main lab storage room.
And?
The final one is in human inquiry and auditing. It's tucked behind a pipe in observation room B.
Alright. I'll be back.
Strength to your sword arm, friend. And thank you.
Say it.
You don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here, and whose journey is far from over.
What makes you say that?
Confidence. The scavengers around here, they're faking it. You're the real deal. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the marauders would eat me alive.
What do you need?
Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress.
Well, Sublight wouldn't turn over a rock unless there was salvage underneath it.
Well put. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
And where is he now?
Nowhere good, that's for sure. In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
And now you've come back to find him?
You're a quick study. This place is greedy. Took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
Well, if I come across anything, I'll let you know.
I appreciate it, stranger. I don't expect you to move the stars. Just keep an eye out and think of me from time to time. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
Alright, let me ask you something first.
Yeah?
What can you tell me about your time on Gorgon?
The lab coats kept quiet about the project, but the air was charged with excitement. You could feel it wherever you went. I wanted to change the world. A 10-fold boost to worker productivity with no side effects? Who wouldn't salivate at the thought? I don't know what went wrong, but when the shit hit the fan, it sprayed everyone in its path, including me.
Alright, well, see ya. If we can lock the doors on without, many facilities seal up tighter than a top runger safe. A key to the Office of Creative Incubation. The big wings, admin terminal and OCI. Crawling on marauders. Okay, I'm leaving the OCI key in the safe. The combo is 4815. What the?
Hey, marble. Oh, wait. No, that's a human eyeball.
That's no
As a
marble.
medical professional, I gotta say, that is very well preserved and disgusting.
Yeah. Anything else we can find out here? There's a lot of notes scattered. Lawrence Goodfellow, Olivia Ambrose, Lucian Bancroft, Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe, Herbert St. Germain. Stay Out of Minds, Moonman in the Canyon, Canid's yellow, Space's Choice logo, yellow. Oh. List of expenses. Well, I think the eye is... I could be wrong here, but I think the eye is the key that Montoya managed to acquire for himself. So I think with this we can open the door to the office of... What was it again? The Office of Inquiries? Yeah.